Good morning, boys and girls, and Happy New Year. It is now 2021. Can you believe it? The year went so quickly by. So today we're going to continue the story of Moses. And last time with Christmas, we heard God speaking to Moses out of a burning bush, or a bush that was on fire, but the leaves actually weren't burning. It was something very strange. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying that I will use you to rescue my people out of Egypt. So we're going to continue with that story. And God is speaking to Moses here in the passage that we will read just now. We'll, of course, read out of the Bible, God's word, God speaking to us. Very, very important to always remember. This is God speaking to us, and this is real. It's just a story. This really, really happened many years ago, but it did happen. And we will read first out of Exodus 7, verses 1 to 5. I'll say it again, Exodus 7, verses 1 to 5. And we will read out of the New International Reader's Version, which can be found on the YouVersion app. So let's listen very carefully. This is the Lord speaking to Moses again. Then the Lord said to Moses, "You must say everything I command you to say. Then your brother Aaron must tell Pharaoh to let the people of Israel leave his country. But I will make Pharaoh stubborn. I will multiply the signs and amazing things I will do in Egypt. In spite of that, he will not listen to you. So I will use my powerful hand against Egypt. When I judge them with mighty acts, I will bring my people, Israel, out like an army on the march. Then the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. I will reach out my powerful hand against them. I will bring the people of Israel out of Egypt." Now, boys and girls, there's a very, very, very long part in Exodus, from Exodus 7 to 11 actually, that you can go read if you really like, that speaks about all the plagues that God sends to the Egyptians, to show his power, to show his mighty hand. And what happens is, first, when Aaron and Moses goes to the Pharaoh, Aaron's staff turns into a snake. And then the Pharaoh doesn't listen. So God turns the Nile River, into blood. Still, Pharaoh doesn't listen. So God sends a plague of frogs all over Egypt. And then Pharaoh still is not listening. He's got a very hard heart. He's stubborn. So God sends a plague of gnats. And after that, when Pharaoh is still not listening, God sends a plague of flies. Flies all over. We think flies are bad because they sometimes come all around. Imagine all of them everywhere. Still, Pharaoh doesn't listen. He doesn't want to let the Israelites go. And God makes all the animals in Egypt die. They all die. Terrible. And Pharaoh still not listening. So God makes boils break out on the people's skin, the animal skin. Boils are like very bad sores all over their bodies. Still, Pharaoh is not listening. And God sends the worst hailstorm ever to Egypt. We would think by now that Pharaoh would have decided, let the Israelites go, but no. So God sends next a plague of locusts. everywhere in Egypt. Still, Pharaoh doesn't want to let the Israelites go. So what happens is that God makes Egypt become completely dark, as in no sun shining at all for quite a few days. And then next week, we will learn about the very last plague that God sends to Egypt. Because after this one, Pharaoh still doesn't listen. He's extremely stubborn. God made his heart hard. He's very, very stubborn. But let's look back again at what will happen after we hear about this last plague next week. What will happen? What is God promising? He says he will use his powerful hand against Egypt. We can hear that in all the plagues that he is sending. And he will judge the people with his mighty acts. And then I will bring my people Israel out like an army on the march. Then the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. I will reach out my powerful hand against them. I will bring the people of Israel out of Egypt. So some big promises there. And then next week we will learn about the last plague, which is a very, very, very important story in the Bible. And you'll find out next week why also. So let's think about a few questions. First question, who sent all the plagues to Egypt? Second question, why did Pharaoh not want to let the Israelites go? Third question, what does the Lord promise to do? We just spoke about it a while back. And then fourth question, if you know this story out of the Bible, what do you think will be the last plague? And then, boys and girls, I have a picture for you to color in, some frogs and locusts and flies and hailstorms and a snake. You can enjoy that. And then I will see you next week. Have a lovely Sunday. Bye-bye.